Hello, I'm Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and in this episode, I want to give you a tool, a resource, a bit of wisdom, if you will, to overcome writer's block. Now, before I get into it, I would like to take the opportunity to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you get all the various lessons and episodes that I put out right when I put them out. Thank you if you just did, and thank you if you already were. It truly does mean a lot to me, as I hope it does to you. So, very simple. And that is, if you're ever faced with writer's block, and this could be for fiction or nonfiction, right? And in any genre, right? It could be a script. It could be a book, right? Doesn't matter. A graphic novel. It all applies. And if you're ever faced with writer's block in any of these things, well, the answer could be very simple. You just haven't done enough research. And oftentimes that's really what it is. So let me give you an example. I'm working on a film set in a different country. And, you know, whatever sort of shortcomings or hurdles that I come to, it's because I don't know enough about the area. You know, in order to get to the next phase, I continue to, watch more movies, read more news about the location, historical documents, and myths and legends, and just immerse myself as much as possible. Another example is I was working on a sci-fi movie, In Search of Sunrise. You may have seen the proof of concept for it called Playtest. And it's artificial intelligence, virtual reality, quantum computing, all that. And in order to make sure that I was telling the story and telling it accurately and being able to kind of move forward, through the various hurdles and telling it as honestly as I could, I need to do research, And so in that one in particular, I was lucky enough to get to interview Sam Roberts, who was a professor at USC. I connected with him. That was a big kind of moment for me where I got a ton of information from him. And he also pointed me to incredible books and resources to then be able to deep dive further, from that conversation. And it's great. And so I did that. And, now with my other story, the one about the set in a different country, doing the same thing. So whenever you feel lost, and like I said, this could be both fiction, nonfiction, it's just a matter of research sometimes, in fact, most often. So if you're ever faced with writer's block, just crack open a book, pop on your laptop and do an online search and start deep diving and doing your research. Okay? Now, there's the side of it where, you could start a project and, paralysis by analysis, meaning, sometimes people use research as a form of procrastination. Right? Where they'll be like, I just need to research more. And that's not good either, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to create the work that you're doing. So you shouldn't just use research as an excuse to never get anything done. And one of the things that I, use to my advantage, it comes from Tim Ferriss, this line of thinking, but it's just in case knowledge versus just in time. And just in case knowledge is like, well, I don't know if I'll need this, but let me, let me learn about this because I might need it, right? So that's just in case. Whereas just in time is, you learn something when you need it, when you need to know it, right? And so for me, using both examples, I did initial research. As much initial research as I needed to then outline a story and get going with it. And then as I deep dive further and further and things came up, then I was like, you know what? I gotta dig into this. And so then I would go and find those answers and move forward. And then I would come to another roadblock, let's say, and then I would continue to do more research. So writer's block to me really is just it's ironically a good tool in the sense that it provides me with questions to then be able to go out and research. So that's the way I look at writer's block in this particular instance. the other form of it being like sometimes, when people say, oh, you have writer's block, it's like, well, you just haven't written enough bad pages. That could be the other side. Now, I've talked about that before, but, oftentimes it can also be just research. So if you find yourself at a crossroads with your writing and you're frustrated, really sort of focus in on what is the question that is being asked in this particular moment that is keeping me from being able to move forward, and go and research that. And when you do, it opens up wonderful doors. I'm talking from firsthand experience, and pretty much any writer worth their salt talks about research as being part of the process and really unlocking doors and so forth, whatever analogy you want to use. So may that be a driving force and for your writing and to help you. Thank you so much. I hope it does help you. If you have any questions, thoughts of your own, please share them down in the comment section or hit me up on social media at Svitek. Would love to converse with you. Likewise, if you think this episode might be of benefit to somebody in your life, please share it with them. I certainly would appreciate it, as I appreciate you. I'll see you next time.